Charlie from CookingSecretsForMen.com. Well, we're doing another international collab, but this time we're staying close to home. The group is presenting classic recipes from the United States, hashtag Star Spangled Dishes. 15 accomplished YouTube chefs will delve into some of the best all-American recipes. Please check out their channels, watch their videos. Their information will be in the description box below. My entry into the collab is Salisbury Steak. If you're of a certain age, you most assuredly ate Salisbury Steak TV dinners. Salisbury Steak was invented by Dr. James Salisbury, who did a lot of work in germ theory. He invented Salisbury Steak to combat illness during the Civil War for the troops there. He developed it as a cure for digestive illness during the Civil War. What we grew up with, known as TV dinners, was invented by Swanson's in 1954. Swanson TV dinners gave people a way to put a tasty meal on the table without cooking, and for whatever reason, we ate them in front of the television, hence the name TV dinners. There were no microwaves back then, so everything was heated in the oven. Swanson TV dinners were the first successful frozen meal. More than 10 million TV dinners were sold the first year. So for 98 cents per dinner, you could choose between Salisbury steak, meatloaf, fried chicken, or turkey and gravy, and was always served with mashed potatoes and bright green peas. Desserts sometimes were in the center tray on top. The food in a TV dinner were separated in a divided metal tray heated in the oven. And of course, you never let your foods touch in a TV dinner. You'd push the peas away from the mashed potatoes, and anything that got into the gravy, you'd push it up. So anyway, so here's my ode to days gone by with a nod to TV dinners: Salisbury steak, mashed potatoes, and green peas. All right, so we're gonna get started with our easy homemade Salisbury steak, and I'm gonna go out on a limb and say Swanson's did not make it this way. So we have around a pound of ground beef, and this is one small onion that's chopped. Probably dice it and be good. Then we have 1/3 a cup of panko breadcrumbs, and again, go out on a limb and say Swanson's was not using panko breadcrumbs in 1954. Just not sure, but that'd be my guess. So we've got 1 egg. I'm gonna go in. Professional, one-handed. So you got 2 teaspoons of ketchup. 1, 2, gotta have ketchup. 1 teaspoon of Dijon mustard, which is Grey Poupon. Do you have any Grey Poupon? But of course. A teaspoon of Worcestershire sauce. It's the original Worcestershire sauce. And for those of you out here who like Worcestershire sauce, you know that it's made with anchovies, right? There's anchovies in this. I've got some oregano, about 1/2 teaspoon. This is Mexican oregano, courtesy of my friend Tom Garvey. This is my spice blend: salt, pepper, garlic, and onion powder. Alrighty, so we're going to mix this by hand, get all the ingredients in, just like we would for a meatloaf. Alright, so we're going to make 4 oval patties with this. Of course, when we were younger, my mom would say, "We're having steak for dinner." I said, "Oh, that's great." She said, "Salisbury steak." Let's go ahead and make these into kind of an oval football-ish shape. And I may be misremembering, but I don't think they were this big on my TV dinner. But I'm a growing boy, so need to have my fill. Alrighty, so there are Salisbury steaks, which is basically ground beef with a bunch of spices in it, but it's a classic. So we'll move over and we'll fry them, make the gravy, and then we'll sit down and eat it with some mashed potatoes and green peas. All right, moving along with the cooking the steaks and making the gravy for our hashtag Star Spangled Dishes collab. Got our Salisbury steaks we've already made. We're gonna put them in. Got some oil heating. Put these in. Alrighty. We'll keep this plate because we're gonna take them out in a minute. So we'll cook these about 3 minutes each side until they get a nice crust on them. Then we're gonna take them out, make our gravy, and then put them back in and finish cooking. Okay, it's been 3 minutes on our auxiliary timer. Splash. Alright. You can see Olive here. Olive, of course, was probably a grandmother when TV dinners were invented. And one more. Alrighty. Let these go for another 3 minutes. And then we're going to take them out and we'll make the gravy. Okay, we've had another 3 minutes on this side, so we're going to pull them off. Set it to the side. Alright, we're going to set these off to the side. In the same pan, we're going to make our gravy. So we just keep the drippings that are there. And this is a couple tablespoons of butter. Put that right in. It's a lot of tablespoons of butter. Remember the golden rule. No such thing as too much butter. Milk. Turn the heat down to about medium. Strips off. Once the butter is melted, we're going to add the flour. We'll add just 2 tablespoons of flour. We'll whisk this in. I should mention that when Olive Oil was making TV dinners for Popeye, she took out the green peas and used spinach. A lot of people don't know that. Okay, I'm going to do this with no lump, so that's good. We have a 1.5 cups of beef stock. Pour this in gradually. Of course, you always want to add warm stock. All right, so we have a tablespoon of ketchup. Of course, we use ketchup. There we go. A teaspoon of Worcestershire sauce. A lot of the same flavors in both the gravy and the meat. Alrighty. So this is a combination of, this is a seasoning, salt, pepper, garlic salt, and onion powder. We're going to put in about a teaspoon of that. Alright. And then we have 6 ounces of sliced mushrooms. And again, going out on a limb, I don't think Swanson's was using baby portobello mushrooms in their TV dinners. Just thought. There's not a for sure. Alright. Stir this in. I would simmer this for about 5 minutes and let it thicken. Already looks pretty thick, but we want it a little bit thicker. All right, gravy's bubbling away. So we're going to put our Salisbury steaks in to the gravy. They're going to cook for another 10 minutes or so. Okay. So you can spoon a little gravy on each. We'll cover this and let it go for 10 minutes. Alexa, set a timer for 10 minutes.
10 minutes, starting now.
Alexa, thank you.
You're so welcome. Your kindness really gives me a charge.
We have a great friendship. Okay, be right back. All right, they've cooked another 10 minutes. Have an instant read thermometer. You want it to be over 160, 165, and we are well over that. So we're good. All right. So just like Swanson's, some peas, mashed potatoes. Get a little Salisbury steak. Need to get some of these mushrooms on there. All right. here we are. Salisbury steak, mashed potatoes, and green peas. Just like we used to eat when growing up, or those of us who are old enough to have known what a TV dinner is. So I'm going to move over to the other side, and I'm going to give this a taste. But I'm going to tell you, oh, mushrooms are touching the peas. We can't have that. Much better. Okay, see you in a bit. Okay, here we are. Salisbury steak, just like we used to do in front of the TV. So green peas, mashed potatoes, Salisbury steak with gravy. We will be giving this a try. See how we did. I'm not a child anymore, so I can put my peas with my mashed potatoes. Very similar to meatloaf in many ways, except this is much gooder. So thanks everybody for taking the time. Please check out my other co-collaborators for hashtag Star Spangled Dishes on our All-American collab in anticipation of Thanksgiving. We have a lot of fun on these. If you're interested in being part of our international collabs, drop me a line, drop Sandy from Mayaji's Kitchen, and we'll be glad to have you as part of our little group. Well, on behalf of Swanson's and their TV dinners, which don't exist anymore, I tried to go to the store and buy one because I wanted to use one of the little metal containers, but apparently they don't make them anymore. So, thanks for watching. Appreciate all your support. Happy Thanksgiving. See y'all next time. Salisbury steak was invented by Dr. James Salisbury, who did a lot of work in Dr. James Salisbury, who did a lot of work in germ theory. So the food in a TV dinner, for those of you who have never seen one, were separated and divided metal. The food in a TV dinner, and then we have about 6 ounces of sliced mushrooms.